Good morning, everybody. Did you do your daily practice? If not, you better check us out. So let's see how this works. Okay, first thing first. There's a story, but it's not the same as last week. Okay, if you guys were here last week, great. Today we have something different to tell you. Today we're going to tell you the origin story of Sentient Academy. It all started back in the days when I wanted to go to art school and my dad just said no. And then ended up with a hole in the wall, all right? And then when I moved here to the US, I worked really hard, as you can see, and I got into 2 art schools, one in New York, one in San Francisco. It was a dream come true moment. And when I saw the tuition and the living expenses, there was another hard no. So I just kind of gave up my dream. And long story short, I got my degree in accounting, work in corporate finance, great fun stuff. And then 15 years later, I was in a place where I can make a difference. And I met my co-founder, Brian Mark Taylor, award-winning artist, and he just kind of relit the fire. I say, you know what, I'm going to do something of my own, and this is what it's going to be. It's going to be Sentient Academy. Think about this. If you have $100,000, what would you do? Do you want to put that $100,000 into an art school? Probably not, right? Especially knowing that you're not going to get much out of it after you graduate. You're not going to know what to do with your career. But what if we can bring that dream come true art school to your home studio? Art school in your pocket, but without that $100,000 debt. That's what we're all about. So, if this clicker would ever click, there we go. As an analytical person, I solve problems like going to the root problem. So I look at this whole art school situation and say, what is going on with this? There are some problems out there. Most people, they see the demand side of the problem, right? You look at the traditional university, art school, whatever you call it, those students, they're facing this problem of high tuition. And they are mainly learning from non-working professionals. And all of that combined just means you don't know what you're going to do after you graduate. And seriously, when you graduate, they just send you off the world with a piece of paper and say good luck. Nothing about how to survive as a self-employed person, business, nothing. You just try to figure it out. Luckily, nowadays, we can learn online, like what you guys are doing here, a lot of things happening there. You're able to learn online. It's great, and it's cheap, too. Especially a whole bunch of artists, they're doing it out there. They're dropping the price like on a daily basis. It's getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. But it's so unstructured. So it's not taking you anywhere. And not to mention the quality. A lot of people, they even filming with their cell phone, or it's blurry, sound is bad, all that stuff. The quality is not under control. And again, the same problem of learning how to survive as a self-employed entrepreneur, art business person, artist, whatever it is, you're learning it from another non-business person. So is that going to really solve the problem? Not really, right? And then if you look back to the supply side of things, you say, why is this happening? We have all these great artists working out there, making it in the real world, making a great living, having a great lifestyle. Why are they not teaching? Well, if you look at the supply side, you'll realize their opportunity cost is so high. They have commission work, they have projects going on, they just can't afford to teach full time. And on top of that, a lot of them, they're good at pen brushes, but they're not good at technology and computer. They're not tech savvy, and they don't really have the required business knowledge to run anything like what we're doing here. Once we identify the problem, it's an easy fix for now. It's a bigger problem, we'll fix it later with a whole bunch of new plans will come out. But initially, what we're going to do is we take away all of that heavy lifting. We do all the post-production, we do the business, we do the marketing, we do everything to deliver this. A really well put together professional online academy. It's as easy as pick your course, pay for it, log in, you start streaming. That is what you're getting right there in your home studio. And on top of that, we teach you the business side of things too. And that's the big difference. And besides pre-recorded courses, we have live workshops. So as you can see right here, the students there are actually getting a live feedback. And you can see that's from student work from one of our workshops. They work alongside with the professional artists. They're so great. And then use Zoom to get a live feedback. And also we created a community. As you can see, students are posting a lot of work. And this is what we get. It's fantastic. Okay, this is from student. And it's crystal clear. They've been through countless demos. We are the only one that give them a sense of relief. That is Sentient Academy. How does it work? Well, we offer this Return Smart tuition plan. Okay, it's open enrollment. Everybody can sign on anytime you want. All over the world. We're in 160 countries, and it's growing continuously. There are a lot of countries that I don't even know. And we get you in the door, start learning. If you're more of a, starting to get into intermediate level artists, you want to kind of pursue this, we have guided curriculums. We build it as a university level curriculum. And you get to study that kind of training with the professional artists for $15 a month. Or $45 if you have more time, you want to unlock it, it's $45 a month. They get you that basic fundamental training, and then as you get better and better, that's when you start taking professional workshops. We have live version, we have a recorded version of it. Depends on your needs. It's ranging from $20 to $250. So that is how we get students to start learning right away. There's no, hey, I'm going to wait till I save all my money. Nope. And you can see right here, students, they are actually learning how to do fine art portraits right there in their home studio. It doesn't matter if you're a high school student, college students who's graduated from college, who's been struggling for years, or you have kids at home, you finally get to go to your dream come true art school. You put your husband, you put your wife through school. Finally, it's your turn, but you still don't get to do it. Why? Because of the reasons. But now today, look at her. She is able to get to it right there at home. And if you look at the side, those are our student work. And I'm a student myself too. This is from one of our lessons. I follow along, and I did a artisan bread. It's that easy. You just follow along. You can pause, you can rewind it, and all of that. And one thing we're really proud of ourselves is result-based learning experience. You can see right there, our student Cindy, she's in Australia. Okay, she was having some little commissions, but after she spent about less than $300 at Sentient Academy, she got her first, she called it serious commission. It's $950. It's 30 by 40. I did one of those. It took a lot of time. She got it. She's so excited, can't wait to tell us. And right away, she put part of that back into the tuition. From day one, your return is positive. If you just get started, $15, that's less than the art supplies you spend every month. That's why we do it that way, because if you're able to buy supplies and practice, that's how you get better. The $100,000 tuition won't get you to be that amazing artist. The actual practice will. Because of what we believe and how we execute it, we are able to accomplish these major milestones. And since this is not an investor pitch, I'm not going to get nerdy and start talking about the key metrics up against the educational service industry benchmarks, but you can look at it. We're a healthy company. We are more liquid, more profitable, and a tons of return. But that is just the nerdy side of things. But if you look at it, we founded in May last year, launched September 12th, which is like 2 days ago. 3 days ago, there was our 1 year since our beta launch. Right away, we got paying students, high retention, and last quarter, we managed to get 7,000. Now we have 8,000 students all over the world. We're growing fast, and we're just getting started. So we managed to make it happen because we found this really cool formula, and you can plug this in every business. You need a subject matter expert. Like Brian, he's our art expert. But you need to combine that with the business expert. It's art business. That means you need two sides of things. So Brian, he's actually the grandfather of online art education. Did you know back in the days, he taught at the world's largest art school in San Francisco, Academy of Art University, 7 years. And during those 7 years, he helped them develop the online curriculum. That's way before all of this Patreon. I don't know if they have YouTube back then, but that was before everything. So he had that experience. He has the network. He knows how to do things. And on top of his award-winning artist background, he's also an inventor. This is his easel. We got this easel all over the world, used by plein air artists all over the world. So he's been in this business for 10 years. Now we're taking his art plus some business knowledge and the network combined with my business knowledge. I was in corporate finance for 10 plus years, from mid to large size enterprise. I run the finance team. I do the analysis. I actually design and build some financial systems to help casinos to get a lot of money. So I kind of know, see, when it talks about money, people smile. But there's money in everything. The question is, how are you going to use your resources to find the opportunity to grow your company, to make an impact? And that's why we're here. We want to make an impact. So if you look at us and say, well, you're doing great, why are you here? Well, there's always the next step. What are our next steps? We want to, treat the two great metrics in a lot of SaaS companies. We're not SaaS, but at the same time, recurring revenue is great, right? And how to get that, maximize all of your investment on that return is you need to focus on your lifetime value. So we want to get a dedicated course production team. And then also we need to increase their monthly active user by effective marketing campaign. We built something wonderful. It's a dream come true experience. Our students love it. Now we need to let people know about it. That's why we are here really seeking to fill our advisory board, to fill the art and the business side of things. We have a couple of people in mind to kind of, you can see what is on there. We need people like educators, ed tech experts, legal, marketing, art professors, or even gallery owners. All these people pulling their resources to help us to kind of make this even better, because we are not just here to be a content marketplace provider. We are here with the goal to replace our education, all right? So a lot of things is kind of on the back burner. It's our top secret. I'm not going to talk about it here in public, but we have a lot of great plans coming up. For example, getting accredited, blah, blah, blah. There's like a lot of cool things happening. And then also, to make that happen, we need to raise some capital. Right now, we're healthy. We're able to roll it, but the growth is not as large as it could be if we are able to raise $100,000, put that into our target members, and then expand our team, do more marketing, equipment, blah, 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 all of those things, but not a fancy office. So that's why we're here today, and thank you for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot. Yes.
So I was wondering if you'd been able to talk to current art schools and see what their response is to what you're doing, just kind of the people who are already doing this sort of thing that you would be a substitute for. What's their response been to what you got?
That's a great question. And in fact, we've been talking to some educators. For example, one of our instructors, he just finished teaching at BYU. So he's bringing that experience over here. And we didn't really talk to the schools per se, but we did talk to some people there in that space. Because right now, our school is quite different from a traditional school. There's a lot of this, I can't really describe it in a simple way, but Brian does know the people who are over there running Academy of Arts. So we haven't officially reached out to get a response yet, because we are kind of doing this surprise factor. Like, hey, we came from nowhere, and here's 1 year mark. We're going to shock you, because all of a sudden we took the market share, and we're making a lot of noise. So that'll be good to really talk to them and to see, we want to get into education. We don't get me wrong. I'm not saying here we're going to go take them down. We actually talk to not administrations, but when COVID first hit, we reach out to school teachers. They are the one who's scrambling, because all of a sudden the next day they need to teach art online. There's no way they can pull it off. So we offer Sentient for free for school teachers who want to utilize us. We open it up, and we got 160 school teachers all over the world, ranging from elementary to universities, and some of them, they're teaching at university. So we get to talk to those people, but what we found is they love it, they want to do something about it, but as teachers, as you know, budget's limited, their power is limited, they can't really do anything about it. So that's where we are at right now with talking to the school system in that direction. But great question.
A couple things that just kind of concern me. I mean, this is an open forum to help you. Don't take this as any negative stuff.
Don't worry.
I didn't see art mentioned in your name at all. And so to me, it was like, that was a disconnect right off the start. Like, okay, I would throw in art somewhere because that's what you're doing, just as reality check and marketing. Others, you cover a lot of territory when you're an art school. You know, so the question is, are you a fine art school or you? I mean, there's so many of the arts. I have a friend that they do mold making, and they have a fairly successful video training, tutorial on mold making. That's part of the arts. So I mean, there's so many varieties. What are you focusing on? That's the question. Are you focused on the fine arts, on drawing? Are you focused on line drawing, ink drawing, photography, sculpting, hat making? I mean, they're all in the arts. I saw it's just too broad for me to say. If I'm going to raise capital, it's like, okay, what specific art are you going after now? And I can see expanding, but I didn't see a honed direction in your presentation. Maybe you're doing that. I didn't see that. So my question is, what is your direction you're going now, focusing on in the arts? Great.
That is a great question. And if you know me, the first thing you will know is that story back in the days when my mentor walked up to me and then he said, "Hey, Keith," great question, by the way. Out of 1,000 people here, that's a really great question. He came up and he said, "Keith, do you want to hear my suggestion?" He said, "When I see your art, I see Walmart, generic. That's the kind of criticism I can take." And I took that and flipped it, and that's where I am today. I'm still having a long way. But, as far as arts, yes, there's all kind of stuff. There's animation, digital arts, which is a huge market to get into. But there's big players in the market. Schoolism, they are dominating the digital arts. However, if we look at the segments, fine arts, it's one overlooked segment. Number one, fine artists, they are okay with working in their studio, creating amazing things. And most of them, they just go unnoticed unless, if you cut off a year and go crazy, years and years later, someone might notice you. And that's why we are focusing on fine arts right now. These are amazing people who can do something with pig hairs or badger hairs or mongoose hairs to do something more amazing than this. But at the same time, they don't have the business knowledge. So for us, we are in a very, in a way, it's competitive market because, thanks to Patreon and all these platforms allow creative artists, fine artists to put their content out there. But at the same time, like I say, it's unorganized. And Sentient Academy, see the name, Sentient Academy is able to enable these great working professionals and help them to get on the main stage. And because of that, we gain a lot of competitive advantage because we are really up against, and of course we're all friends here, we're not like up against them, but from the business perspective, we can run much faster because we gain our wings. We know technology, we know business, and we're there, up against some artists who are just trying to figure out how to use a camera, how to get it uploaded, how to even get it to look good. But we already get it figured out and stay ahead. We're even doing, like you said, like you see here is the live streaming. Like tomorrow, I have a live streaming workshop with a person with an artist who actually designed the In-N-Out Burger logo. He's in California. We're streaming that out. So great feedback, and I'll work on those to make sure our name is mentioned, and then just kind of make sure we let people know right now, currently, we're about fine arts. Thank you.
So Keith, just as part of your presentation as well, and I'm looking at your website here, I would try to get this into your presentation a little bit, because when I look at your website, it's beautiful, and I know exactly what you're trying to do right away. it's still a little bit vague in your presentation. But if you go with here and just show them, like, here's, you know, the instructors we have, here's what a student's experience is like. If you can take somebody on that kind of a journey, they can grasp really quick what you're trying to do and then get to this point.
Thank you for the feedback. I try to do some of that, you know, but this one, we could highlight it even better to really show. That is good, because from Saturday to today, I added this in because we have the same question the other day is, you know, who is your target audience? What is going on here and how does it work? So I made a little baby step, but apparently it's not a big step for the human race yet, but thanks to you, we'll get there.
Yeah, so you mentioned a couple success stories of some of your artists who maybe now have sold some pieces. Do you plan or have like a marketplace on your website, or plan to build one for your artists to feature them?
That is what I got from my mentor, my last CFO. The first thing came to his mind is, hey, you're teaching people to be professional, and fine arts is about selling. How about marketplace? That it's very smart idea, and right now with our current resource, we couldn't really do that. But Brian and I, we were actually talking about that the other day, and you know, we have plans. We want to do something more like a student gallery, right? And starting to gear towards that and say, hey, you go through our courses, not only you get to be more certified, but in fine arts, certification doesn't mean anything. What really makes people think that you're good is, hey, I saw something, I won a competition, red dots. Do you guys know about the red dots? If you go to a show, you see red dots, that means it's sold. We have artists out there just put up sold out shows. That's what I want to create, is you know, kind of part of the Sentient future is a place for the students to not just show their work, but also connect them with the buyers. And that will take a lot of, you know, not just the technology side, but, you know, that is starting to enter into e-commerce. But there's opportunity there, as you can see. Like, we're just getting started, and there's, if you're more interested, we can talk more, because there's a lot of ideas that you can really capitalize on multiple verticals in the whole art industry that has really been untapped or is underserved. If you think about art commerce, there's, you know, a lot of websites out there to sell art online. And if you really Google the market size for the art sales online, it's huge right now. But the better question I'll throw it back is, how are you, Chris, right, going to help us to make that happen? Because we're late in the game, but there is gonna be a way, especially if it's kind of like a farm to market. We have the instructors, we have the students, it's farm to market. Rather than going through brokers, that is something that is kind of beautiful in the art world, because artists, they really, I don't want to say hate because it's public, right? A lot of gallery owners, we have friends who are gallery owners, they don't hate, but they just, a lot of them dislike gallery owners or brokers. So we are looking at a great opportunity there, so I'm glad you were thinking that direction.
I did see mention of The Artist's Way. Have you read that? Followed through that? It deals with the psychology of why artists are artists and why they're not good in business. I highly recommend the book. It's a series because they are unique. They respond differently, and they're because they utilize a different part of their brain. And I didn't see that addressed here. You might address that kind of thing, because most artists recognize they're not marketers. They have no clue. And you do that, but I think it would help in your presentation, especially to investors, to say, because most of them all say, yeah, I know our artist. He does great work, but he sucks at everything. Can't even pay his house, doesn't know how to pay his bills. And so, because that's reality. They don't think that way, just the way they're designed. And so I would address that in your presentation. I would review The Artist's Way. It's a great book series because this goes to why artists think the way they do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That is really good suggestion, and I'll look into that book because, there's always time to enrich yourself. And thank you so much for the feedback. And yes, I do need to figure out a bit. See, there's so much information packed in 6 minutes. And I'm lucky today because I don't really have the time constraint because the other day is 5 minutes. But that's really good to kind of address a lot of these. And it is, I'm just being completely honest, because I myself is an artist, as you can see, and I struggle as an artist. And now I have friends who are successful artists. You get to see a big, like, difference between their mindset. However, again, even with the successful artists, they don't feel comfortable talking about the business side of things. And it is a problem. It is a big problem. And we built a business school, by the way. We have, right now 160 plus more videos. We have attorneys in there talking about business law and all that stuff. We are helping them to see not just the mindset, but really the basic business things to see this. I say it. You have two hats. One is the business hat on, one is the artist hat on. They wear the artist hat 100%, but they don't realize sometimes you got to switch and put that business hat on. So yeah, we really need to raise the awareness, not just in the presentation to the business people, but more importantly, to stick that in front of the artist people and say, hey, you need this. And the funny thing is they know they need this. They do know. Okay, but they say, I need marketing, I need branding, I need social media. They get carried away with all that fancy stuff. So it's really a tough fight to get them to understand. And our business school is $30 a month. We give them all the information. But a lot of them, they're like, well, I'm an artist, I don't have money. They don't realize, well, that $30 is like a $100,000 business school experience. We give it to you for $30, but they still can make that mental jump to say, hey, if I want to make money to earn $100, I need to spend that $30. They think I want it for free. Some of them, they even feel entitled. I'm an artist, I'm starting an artist, you need to give me stuff. But at the same time, they are sending a message out there to say, hey, I'm an artist, I have bills to pay, you need to pay for my work. And I'm trying to tell them that doesn't work. If you want people to respect you as a professional, you got to start acting like a professional. That means pay your bills, pay your courses, pay your investments. That's the business expense. So for us here, it makes sense, right? But that book, or even a lot of conversation with the artists which we are building right now, will really kind of get that point across.
I have a question. How do you feel like you're marketing Sentient? Like the thousands of students that you have, like how are you spreading the word about it?
Oh man, you hit a keyword. Just want to hit that again. If you're a marketing expert and you believe in us, talk to us. So far, and like I said, artists, right? And I'm not a marketing expert. Even though I'm great at presentations, I'm not a marketing expert. So far, we get to the 8,000 people by two things. Number one, a good return, but not the maximum return on Facebook ads. There's conversion going on there, and it causes a good return to acquire a new student. Majority of that is from our alliances. We have a professional art supply brand that's sponsoring us. So their network is our network. And each of our artists, they have, ranging from 50,000 to 150,000 followers on Instagram. That's the target market. In a way that they like you, they follow you, but doesn't mean they'll pay money to go to school and learn from you. So all of that combined, we have over 1 million reach on Instagram. So a lot of that is coming from those two areas to kind of get their attention. But then the next step is to not just us talking about us. We need people. We need you to talk about us. We need you to experience or even see what you see here and believe in us and really let people know, like, the whole Utah, you see news every day, right? What kind of news do you see? Do you see any news about, hey, me, an art academy owner, an artist, and my partner, he's a world-renowned artist. Both of our kids go to the same school, the same elementary school, and there's no art teacher there. We talk to school. There's no money for art teacher. There's money for STEM program. Arts are getting dropped. But if you want to learn to just code, you learn to be a robot. Creativity comes from the arts. So a lot of root fundamental issues out there need to be addressed, but people are not looking at those things because who cares about the arts, right? I'm glad I can go to the museum and look at the beautiful pictures and all that stuff. But when you ask me what I'm going to do to change the art world, what I'm going to do to make the art or artist's life better, hey, it's not my business. They chose art, right? So there's a lot of that we need to address and then find opportunity to work on the marketing side, and we can really use a lot of help.
Okay, Keith, we have one last question for you. What can the 1 Million Cups community do for you?
Awesome question, and I'm actually happy that you asked. Well, number one, I really benefit from this presentation because there's great feedback about a lot of things that I didn't think of. So, you know, refining the pitch, because hopefully in October, I will be doing the pitch competition down at Dixie University. So this will definitely help a lot to, you know, refine and address all of the problems in a very high level way to help them understand what we do. And of course, you know, as we refine it, we can do other pitches in other locations, or even connect us with the right people so we can start to get this advisory board filled up, or even, you know, the fundraising part down the road. And of course, networking is a great way to help us out, because right now we tested the product. People love what we have. We just need to let people know about it, and also help clarifying some of the maybe concerns or confusions and opportunities, so people know what this is about. And we're kind of in that stage, because in the past we focus 100% on the products, because we have students who really just like, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. They tell us what they need. But right now I'm handling all of the daily operations by myself, and then Brian is doing the recruiting. We have an intern to do some video editing, and that's it. 3 people with the artists, of course, they put in all the work. That's our team. Like, we really don't have a team. So anything that would help these couple things happen, that would be greatly appreciated.